Guys, how are we doing? And welcome back to another video. This is the Fighters Forecast. It is your boy Tennant speaking. And you may be looking around like, where the fuck is this guy at? Bro, Tennant just started his new job. They put him up in some hotel, some sweet hotel. I don't even know. But yeah, I got to get these videos out to you boys who watch it every week. And you may go, oh, you have like fucking 8 viewers, bro. Shut the fuck up, pussy. Okay, because those 8 viewers are my family. They're part of the Fighters Forecast OG family. I'm gonna keep posting videos every single week. I made a commitment. It's gonna stay true. We're gonna look back at Perth, and that weekend, that night, we went to an engagement party. Did our thing for one of my best friend's brothers. He just got engaged, so congratulations to Dode right there. But me and Christos went back to his house, and we slept over. So we got back around 3 o'clock, and we slept for about an hour, and then we woke up to watch the first fight, Cody Steele pull off that submission. We watched the full card through. Let's just say we were fucked up for the next day because we watched that whole card. Overall, a pretty good card in Perth, to be honest. I told you guys the fighting nerds are different. Carlos Prates is different. I said JDM is overrated. Just go back and look at the proof, bro. JDM is overrated. Carlos Prates absolutely masterclass. That guy was the better striker, like I told you he was going to be. JDM tried to wrestle. He got one takedown, and that was it. Carlos Prates lit that guy up every single bit of the fight, and that was a masterclass. I'd love to see Gary versus Makhachev and then Prates versus Morales, because everyone knows Makhachev will not fight anytime soon after fighting Gary, and I don't think Prates wants to wait a year for another fight. So I think they should match up him and Morales in like September or October, and then the winner of that fight fights Makhachev after he dismantles Ian Gary. But guys, we made tons of money, lock of the night. Hammer parlay hit Steve Urseg and Quillen Salkild, pretty smooth. My lock of the night was Steve Urseg. The odds kept falling at minus 180. I did not understand it, guys, but that's what it is. It had that lock symbol beside its name, so you know what to do. You jam in that key, you twist it because it's fucking locked. Anyways, guys, moving on from that card, we did amazing. Hit our parlays, hit our plays. Very, very nice picks. Overall, just fantastic card. And we moved down to UFC 328 in New Jersey. It is Khamzat Chimaev versus Sean Strickland, co-mained by Tatsuro Taira and Joshua Van. Guys, I just watched the press conference today. It looked absolutely insane. These two guys absolutely hate each other. If you don't know the backstory, these guys used to be training partners, and they do not like each other one bit. This fight card, name-wise, looks absolutely insane. If I could go to this card, I would, but too bad I'm fucking in buttfuck nowhere right now in a hotel. But this card looks absolutely amazing, guys. I'm jealous of the ones that get to go see this live. But without further ado, we're going to break this fight down from the bottom to the top, and you'll be seeing the hammer of the week play once again right after this video. But without further ado, here we go. First fight of the night. It is Clayton Carpenter against Jose Ochoa. Clayton Carpenter versus Jose Ochoa. Carpenter is a wrestler. The guy is better at wrestling than striking here, which is important because Jose Ochoa has already fought a wrestler type person in Cody Durden, and he's fought a higher level wrestler in Asu Almabayev. If you guys watch this channel, you know how high I am on Asu Almabayev. I think the guy is fantastic, especially in the wrestling, and he has some nice spinning attacks. But going back to this fight, Clayton Carpenter, in my opinion, he's fought some high level competition in the UFC, so it's really hard to gauge how well this guy truly will do in the UFC. And he's fighting a guy in Jose Ochoa who's also fantastic, in my opinion. He's very tight. He's only lost to the best. His boxing, I believe, is the main part in this matchup. Jose Ochoa is extremely fast. He has great 1-2s down the pipe. I think he can chop the legs of Clayton Carpenter and stuff the shots. He doesn't have bad wrestling, in my opinion. I'd just say he's better in the striking and the boxing. I'm not fading Clayton Carpenter. I don't think the guy's a bad fighter, but if I have to pick the better fighter, it is Jose Ochoa. He has good takedown defense, decent wrestling, but the striking is the main thing that is levels above. I have Jose Ochoa as my first pick on the card. Next fight, we have the The hype train. Get on it. I've been on this guy since the Contender Series when he fought Mateus or something Talha, Murtaza Talha. Beisinger Sursurkayev is an absolute monster. Now, this guy is not bettable, though. I know you may be like, what the fuck does that mean? This guy has 2 finishes in the UFC. What do you mean he's not bettable? Guys, the name value of Beisinger Sursurkayev completely explodes the odds. I think he's minus 700. There is zero value on this guy. He's probably going to win. But the odds are just really wide, especially in a guy like Jordan Santos, who, in my opinion, should be undefeated in the UFC. The guy should have beat Ozzy Diaz. He was the better fighter there. He fucked up Danny Barlow. I picked Danny Barlow in that matchup. He really surprised me. Jordan Santos's volume is fantastic. The guy will walk forward like a zombie trying to get you out of there. Pretty fun to watch, to be honest. There's not lots of power there, but it's lots of volume and it's lots of, I'm going to get in your face. It doesn't matter how hard you hit me. I'm going to be here and I'm going to drown you once you break. But he's fighting Beisinger Sursurkayev, who has the better striking in this matchup, who has the better wrestling by a mile here. And if Sursurkayev wants this fight to be done quick, he's going to shoot a takedown and he's going to get a submission here. Beisinger Strickland is a guy you need to watch out for in the UFC. This guy will continuously climb the rankings in the 185 division. This is Khamzat Chimaev's training partner. This guy is fantastic. He's extremely young, and he's going to make a name for himself in the UFC. He has all the tools in the world. He needs to be a bit more serious, in my opinion, in there. Sometimes he's smiling too much and, almost got caught by Eric Nolan. But, Beisinger Sursurkayev, in my opinion, is a fantastic prospect in the 185 division, and I have him here as the choo-choo train. Beisinger Sursurkayev by submission. Next fight, we have an interesting one here. We have Pat the Bat Sabatini against William Gomis. Pat Sabatini has fantastic wrestling. His striking is not great, but the guy's wrestling and control is fantastic. He will get people out of there in the submission game, but he is a one-trick pony in my opinion. Pat Sabatini, I don't love the guy, but I like him in this matchup here because William Gomis is not great at defending takedowns. He let Robert Rucella take him down. William Gomis has pretty striking, very technical striking as well, some nice leg kicks. But if Pat Sabatini is who he is and he shoots the takedowns on William Gomis, he's going to get him. He's going to either control him for 15 full minutes or he's going to get a submission. It won't matter how pretty William Gomis's boxing is in this matchup because he cannot defend takedowns. I'm going to go Pat Sabatini here. He's the better wrestler. That is the obvious path to victory in my opinion. Give me Pat Sabatini. Next fight is the banger of the night in my opinion. This fight is absolutely insane how it's on the early prelims. It makes zero sense whatsoever. It is Roman Kopylov against Marco Tulio. Both these guys are insane strikers. Marco Tulio has some of the most diverse striking you will see in the 185 division. Lots of spinning attacks, massive power. The guy is jacked, looks like a mogger. Marco Tulio is an absolute monster. He has great leg kicks, huge hooks, and great 1-2s down the pipe. I believe the guy is good, and I've been flip-flopping on my pick here. We just saw him lose against Christian Leroy Duncan. That is no way to hang your head. That guy is a fantastic prospect in the 185 division. Roman Kopylov, very much the same, has great spinning techniques, but he excels in the body shots and the straight shots. Roman Kopylov is very technical. He's very tight in the boxing. Roman Kopylov loves to throw a 1-2 down the pipe and then follow it up with a body shot. My opinion here, I've been switching back and forth. I'm going to lean Roman Kopylov as the dog. I believe he's fought the better level of competition. We saw him lose to Costa, but we've seen how good Costa is now that the Eraser is back. Roman Kopylov, in my opinion, the guy's just really, really good in the striking range. He's too technical for Tulio. Tulio likes more of a brawl. He doesn't like the pretty stuff. I don't believe Marco Tulio can wrestle here against Roman Kopylov, but it is a possibility. But I think if we're taking a striking match, I believe Roman Kopylov has the tools to get Marco Tulio out of there. He does not have the power advantage, but he has the speed advantage, and he has the technicality advantage in the striking. Give me Roman Kopylov. That body kick is going to be there all day, and he has great, great calf kicks. This is a very good matchup. I could be wrong, but I'm going to go Roman Kopylov here because I believe he's the better striker in a mostly striking matchup. Give me a sec, guys. I'm going to drink some water. Next fight, we got Jim Miller against Jared Gordon. Jim Miller is 42 years old, a very old guy. Just opened up about a story about his son having cancer. I heard he's in recovery, which is great news for him. And, thanks to Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, for healing him and, getting to the hospital. The doctors helping him out. We really do appreciate that. And we love to hear that. Jim Miller is a very old guy, though. He's been on 100, 200, and 300, all those cards he's been on. The guy's a nice grappler, but he's just getting too old here, in my opinion, guys. Jim Miller, a very fun guy to watch in his prime, but the chin's gone. He's not as quick anymore. He doesn't have the scrambling ability. And I know Jared Gordon's old as well, don't get me wrong, but Jared Gordon has the youth in this matchup. He's the better striker here. The grappling is very similar, in my opinion. He's the better speed. I think Jared Gordon should absolutely get this fight done by KO. I'm pretty confident in him. So I'm going to pick Jared Gordon in this matchup. Next fight, we have the wet blanket, who is Grant Dawson against Mateus Rebecki. We have one of the most boring fighters in the division against one of the most exciting fighters in the division. Now, guys, I'm not a Grant Dawson hater. This guy has made me tons of money in the past. We know what this guy's going to do most of the time. He is going to go and wrestle. In my opinion, this guy is one of the best grapplers in the UFC. Skill for skill. I've seen him just blanket people that he's not supposed to blanket. This guy is not a guy you're going to turn on the TV to watch like, oh my gosh, Grant Dawson's fighting. No. This is the guy where you do the breakdown and you're like, can this guy defend takedowns? No. It's a Grant Dawson auto lock. That's pretty much it. The problem here is he's fighting Mateus Rebecki, who can defend takedowns, whose base is wrestling. Mateus Rebecki is the much better striker in this matchup. He is very crazy. He lacks the defense, though, which I'm a bit afraid of, but it is Grant Dawson. He has no striking whatsoever. We saw Bobby Green knock him out with a jab. We saw Manuel Torres absolutely kill that guy. Mateus Rebecki, in my opinion, is going to stuff the takedowns of Grant Dawson, and he's going to unload on this guy. And Grant Dawson has shown, if you touch the chin of him, he will go to sleep. Mateus Rebecki is too wild in there to sit on bottom. If Grant Dawson does get the takedown, he will scramble up. He will create butterflies to get back up to his feet. And Mateus Rebecki is going to land a shot here that's going to put Grant Dawson unconscious. I like betting with Grant Dawson here, but I'm going to go with the dog and Mateus Rebecki. I think this guy's the better fighter, almost everywhere unless he's on his back, but he's not going to stay there. He's going to scramble. He's going to get back to his feet, and he's going to put that guy out. Give me Mateus Rebecki in this matchup. Next fight, we got Joel Alvarez against Yaroslav Amosov. Joel Alvarez is one of the most exciting fighters to watch in the UFC. This guy's striking has improved so much throughout the UFC. One of his only losses being against Arman Tsarukyan. I looked up a stat. Joel Alvarez has never completed a takedown, and he has 17 submissions, which means people are shooting on him, and he's extremely long and lean and can catch people in submissions. This guy is one of the most fun fighters to watch. His plan A is striking, but if you shoot, you're coming into a world of trouble. Joel Alvarez can squeeze the neck, can find the neck, and he is fantastic to watch. He is so long for the division. I couldn't even fathom how this guy got to 155. One of my favorite fighters to watch, Joel Alvarez, is a monster, but he's fighting a guy in Yaroslav Amosov who was the Bellator champion in the 170 division. This guy's grappling is next level, has the best Darce choke, or one of the best Darce chokes I've ever seen. He made quick work of Neil Magny. Now, I believe Joel Alvarez is the better fighter than Neil Magny, obviously, but Yaroslav Amosov, doesn't have the path to win, in my opinion here. He doesn't have the more paths. But the guy is so good at grappling and submissions that if he gets a hold of Joel Alvarez and he gets his position, this fight is over. So in my opinion, this fight's extremely hard to make because on the feet, Joel Alvarez is miles better. On the ground, I have to go Amosov, even though the accolades of Joel Alvarez, 17 submissions. But Amosov is better on the ground. He has the better wrestling credentials and basics as well. He has that nasty Darce choke. But, if I have to pick someone, I'm going to go Amosov here. But I would not like to pick one. I'd like to do either Joel Alvarez inside the distance or Yaroslav Amosov by submission. Those were the two I'd play here. I think both are very, very live. We're going to get some good odds on that. But if I have to make a pick, I'm going Yaroslav Amosov. Next fight, we have Atiba Gauthier about to slime out Ozzy Diaz. I don't got to say much in this matchup, guys. We know who Atiba Gauthier is. This guy's a killer. He's going to march forward. He's going to land his shots. He's going to put you out. Ozzy Diaz, brother, you are a steppy stone. Steppy stone. A steppy stone. What? Ozzy Diaz, you are a stepping stone for Atiba Gauthier. I hope they put him in against someone a little bit better. For his next fight, like who could a nice fight be? Decent guy. You know, could be Kopylov. I know, like he's fighting already, but if they both win or something, put Atiba against Kopylov. That'd be a great fight, a very action-based fight. But yeah, Atiba Gauthier is gonna walk forward and knock this guy out. Next fight, we have King Green against Jeremy Stephens. I've done some research on King Green and I fuck with the guy a lot. His backstory is sad. He loves to help people out, like his friends with the club. Bobby Green, I love this guy's fighting style. We call it the hood style here in Toronto. King Green, marches forward with his hands down, talking to you, making you upset, getting in your head. He loves it. He throws some weird angles. Lots of dexterity in his striking. Has great uppercuts and hooks of Bobby Green. The straight down the pipe is also very good. And I think he's too weird and too fast for Jeremy Stephens here in this matchup. We know Stephens, he's a tough dude. Probably not going to get finished here, in my opinion, because this guy will eat almost anything coming at him, even if it's a sledgehammer. But King Green is the better fighter. He is more clean. He's faster. He's cleaner. He'll have the better volume. He'll have the better strikes in this matchup. And I think King Green is going to overwhelm Jeremy Stephens and win by decision. Give me a sec. Nice little break. Guys, look at this main card. It opens up with Hakeem Buckley against Sean Brady. Little disclosure here, I think both these fighters are completely overrated in my opinion. Sean Brady just got fraud checked by Michael Morales. He made up some bullshit excuse, whatever it is. This guy's striking is abysmal. It's terrible. He has fantastic grappling, but if he cannot set up his takedowns and complete them, he is a sitting duck on the feet, especially against Hakeem Buckley. Sean Brady, he's a wrestler. He's kind of boring. I know he knocked out Bilal, whatever. But in my opinion, the guy's kind of boring. He's a one-trick pony. He's got the grappling, but his striking sucks. Hakeem Buckley, I wasn't impressed originally with that loss against Usman. The guy, didn't seem like he was there. And guys, I just don't like Hakeem Buckley. I know it's a character you're supposed to like, but the guy's overrated. He fought Stephen Thompson, was losing both rounds, getting picked apart, still getting picked apart in that third round. He marched forward and hit a shot. I know it's part of the fight game, but the guy was getting peace in that matchup against Stephen Wonderboy. And then he fought Colby. You beat him, but it's Colby Covington. No one cares. The guy's not any good anymore. And then he fights Usman, and he gets fucked. But I watched the fight back with some tape, and he was defending the takedowns a bit later on in the fight. He's shown he can defend takedowns, and that is literally all he has to do here against Sean Brady. He has to defend the takedowns, and if he does that, guys, Hakeem Buckley's going to knock this dude out just like Michael Morales. So I'm going to go Hakeem Buckley. He's shown that he can defend the takedowns, so I believe Hakeem Buckley gets this job done. Next fight, this could be another banger of the night. It is Alexander Volkov against Waldo Cortez Acosta. Guys, if you know me, I'm a big Alexander Volkov guy. I love his fight IQ. I love betting on this guy because he will take the easiest path to victory to win the fight. He won against Cyril Gane. I don't care what you guys say. That was an absolute robbery. Alexander Volkov is 6'7" for this division. An absolute monster in the cage. Like I said, has great fight IQ. He fought Bam Bam, took him down, subbed him pretty easily. Then he fought Pavlovich. You can't get in the pocket with that dude. He had a very disciplined game plan. Pop the jab out there, a straight, a leg kick, a knee, and just keep picking apart Sergey Pavlovich. I think that was one of the most impressive victories, in my opinion, of Alexander Volkov. In my opinion here, Volkov's too big. The guy is too big and too long for Waldo Cortez Acosta, even though I love Waldo and I like his fight IQ as well. We saw him against Robelis to Spain. He took him down. But that is a guy with zero takedown defense. Alexander Volkov has stayed in the top 3 for his entire career in the heavyweight division. The guy is an absolute killer. He is well prepared. He knows what he needs to work on in this matchup. I believe the striking is extremely even. but I believe Alexander Volkov in the offensive wrestling is better. This is a coin flip, guys, and I'm going to go with my guy in Alexander Volkov, who I know is longer, who I know has great game plans and fight IQ. He can pop the jab out there, keep Waldo at bay, push him backwards, maybe shoot against the fence and clinch. I like Alexander Volkov in this matchup. If you have Waldo, I understand. I love Waldo as well, but I'm going to pick Alexander Volkov. Next fight, we have a title fight for the flyweight division. I still classify Pantoja as the champion, guys. I don't classify Van as the champion, but he is, so fair play to him. But he's fighting Tatsuro Taira here, and you see that one on Tatsuro Taira's record. That was me. I picked against him when he fought Brandon Royval. That was my perfect card. I got every single fight correct on that card. Everyone called me crazy. Brandon Royval plus 320. I told you what was going to happen, guys. Brandon Royval just does not settle here. And in my opinion here, Josh Van is a very, very good boxer, but he does not have the takedown defense people assume he does. I don't think his takedown defense is good enough to stuff a takedown of Tatsuro Taira, in my opinion. Tatsuro Taira's grappling is top tier. It is absolutely world class, especially for the flyweight division. He has extremely good trips, great clinch activity. He can try and trip you down to the ground, omoplatas. The guy is fantastic in the grappling aspect, and he just needs to get a hold of Josh Van. He's not like a long, lanky guy. We saw Josh Van just KO Royval and then beat Pantoja, if you want to say that. But Tatsuro Taira just took down Moreno and said him like it was nothing. I understand it was Moreno. The guy's washed. But, Tatsuro Taira, in my opinion, the grappling holes of Josh Van are going to get exposed here. I think Tatsuro Taira can backpack him. He's got amazing control, and I think he can submit this guy. So I'm going to go with the the favorite in Tatsuro Taira. The last fight of the night. It is the UFC middleweight championship on the line. It is the undefeated Khamzat Chimaev against Sean Strickland. And guys, I want to pick Sean Strickland so bad in this matchup here. I'm not a big Chimaev fan, but he's going to win here. Nobody can defend the takedowns of Khamzat Chimaev. He is that good. Once he gets to his spot, it's just hard to get up. We saw DDP. He couldn't do anything. He got put in crucifix for the full 25 minutes. He couldn't do anything. He was finding success a bit later here. But this is a different matchup in Sean Strickland. A guy with better takedown defense, a great scrambling ability as well. And if Khamzat Chimaev takes control of this guy like he did against DDP, then I don't know if this guy ever gets beat, to be honest. Because Sean Strickland is one of the hardest matchups for Khamzat Chimaev, in my opinion. The guy's got great takedown defense, and he's the way better striker here. He loves to throw his teep kicks, his 1-2s. And if he defends a takedown of Khamzat Chimaev, Chimaev is screwed. He is going to teep him. He's going to just pick him apart. 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. But I don't believe he does. I think Chimaev shoots quick. He gets a submission in the first or two rounds. I hope it doesn't happen. I'll be cheering for Sean. But he's just that dominant in the wrestling. That's really all I can say, guys. That is the breakdown, guys. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you've learned something. Please like and subscribe if you are new. You know how the algorithm works. If you enjoy these breakdowns, UFC content, we make 2 videos a week, or I do. Christos will be posting soon. I know I keep saying that, but he will. I make my full card breakdown video, giving you my spots, predictions, and bets. And then the video after is the hammer of the week. It is my most confident play of the week. And we see how that's doing. It has major success, guys. But, I'll see you in the next video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed, and I can't wait for this card. Peace.